Yo,
Yo, what's up, man? Hello,
what up?
hello. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Thanks, people, for joining. We got a big announcement. Super excited to announce this. Super excited to kind of hit the ground running in 2024 because it's been a really solid year for a lot of people already beginning. And last year was a good year of growth. It was a good year of healing on a spiritual level, financial level, mental level, physical level. It's all been a great process. And I'm thankful to be here with Jakeb. And Jakeb and I have been really good friends for the past year, I would say. And Jakeb and I met through a mutual friend that I knew from a collective group, and that Jakeb knew from Amazon FBA, which I'm sure he'll go into in a little bit. But we had a mutual friend. We saw each other in the cryptocurrency space, and we saw each other doing great things together. So what I did is I put Jakeb on the podcast that I have, the Weekly Coop, and putting Jakeb on the podcast I think was one of the greatest ideas that came about because it started a beautiful friendship that we both had together, and then it stemmed into the space of. Oh, it looks like we lost Jakeb. And basically, what it stemmed into was, oh goodness, Jakeb. All right, I'm trying to get Jakeb back. It looks like we lost him, but basically, Jakeb and I, we did the podcast, and then I was looking for social media help. So Jakeb was the guy kind of called upon to meet with and do social media with that stemmed into something more. And as a guy who values his time and values his expertise in a lot of different things, Jakeb has been a guy that I can outsource a lot of knowledge to in terms of social media, in terms of marketing, and in terms of business growth and business scale. So that being said, the announcement today is going into Jakeb joining the Conscious Creators Kingdom, but Jakeb is not just joining as a member. Jake is joining as a partner, and I'm super stoked to add Jake into the mix. It looks like we got him back. And so basically, Jakeb, I was talking about how we went into the podcast interview together, and then how we grew into a social media relationship in terms of like you helping me grow on social media and giving me insights and helping me understand marketing from that aspect. And then, the big announcement is you are a partner in the CCK. You're not just a member. You are a partner. You are an asset to this group. And I'm not making you CEO. I'm not using a C-suite term for you. I'm putting you as a partner because it's strictly a partnership. And I think what people need to understand with business is more than just, fancy names, thrown out there. This is an agreement to better each other, better ourselves, and then better the collective as a whole. And that's why I wanted you as a partner, because not only are you a marketing guru, in my opinion, that has been able to scale your own following and other people's following, you have the ability to spiritually enlighten the masses. And that's why I wanted you on here. And that's why I wanted you in this group. And I want you to teach our students to grow and scale and be a part of this community. So I'm glad we got you all fixed up on the live. I'm really excited to take this journey with you and to just run with your talents. So thanks, man, for wanting to join the kingdom as a partner.
Thank you, brother. And I hope the audio is coming in. I DC a little bit,
Yeah,
but
you're good. You're good.
ever since we first had that first podcast where we just jived so well, and on a lot of the things, it was so synchronistic, and I'm sure a lot of people can reconvene with this, but we had many parallels in our lives that we were dealing with largely the same situations, just different X, Y's, and Z's. But through that, we were able to help each other both in multiple different avenues, and we've grown that over the last year, and we've seen a lot of growth from that. And that's why I'm really excited to participate in this. And the CCK, I see it as something that's going to allow many people to unlock in multiple avenues of their life, because the hero's journey, so to speak, is it's so much more than just one thing. It's not just physical. It's not just spiritual. It's not just financial. In fact, financial is like a subsidiary result of all the other things. You don't even really need to pay attention to it. It'll just come with time as you lock in everything else. But I think we offset each other's strengths and weaknesses really well. And when I joined the group initially, and we did one of those chakra cleansing meditations, I came out of that meditation. I was fired up. I was like, this is fantastic. And so I really saw the power in the collective group, and being able to bounce off of each other. I think one of the cool things as we move towards more of a Web3 basis, I think the cool thing about there's a big difference between followers and community, right? Because followers, everybody's sort of pointed in one direction, looking at one person, right? If you're visualizing chairs, whereas a community, you get to like ping off of each other, and all the chairs are sort of faced inward, so that each person can use each other as a resource to grow and evolve in different avenues. Because one person might be better at personal finance, and one person might be better at the spiritual connection to self and to God, and one person might be better at the social media avenue of how to unlock your business through a personal brand. And so we can all ping off of each other to all cumulatively grow, and that's what I think the CCK really, really is going to do this year. It's going to be absolutely miraculous. Also, for those that may not be super privy to Cooper's story, I mean, this guy right here, he at a young age used his knowledge of changing your diet and the habits, as well as the spiritual connection to self, to beat a rare form of cancer called leukemia, which is mind-boggling, right? That is such a huge accomplishment, such a huge feat, and he can use that wisdom attained through that tribulation to teach people and help them grow in all different avenues, particularly spiritual, and also the food aspect, what you're feeding your body, the fuel you're giving yourself. It's a big deal. So that's what I have to say.
I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. I've seen your 75 hard journey over and over again the past year, and I know you're doing it again, and then you're doing the cold plunging and everything else. And yeah, I'm super proud of you and super stoked for your physical health and well-being, on how that's going to really scale as you continue to scale mentally, financially, and spiritually. It's crazy because the collective conscious is raising by the day. A lot of enlightenment going on, especially already in the first few days of 2024. And there's a lot of awakening of the masses. But the thing that I've seen in some of these collective groups is, they claim to be red pill, or they claim to be spiritual, they claim to be conscious, but the leaders in that group don't necessarily embody it, because they're just trying to make money off of those people. And the thing about the CCK is there's a conscious dynamic that isn't, like you said, the money is just a subsidiary of your spiritual well-being. And we combine spirituality, and then with you, we're going to be able to combine the ability to scale your business pretty quickly in terms of a marketing standpoint, and being able to learn social media trends tactfully, so you can scale even if you have a low budget, and learn how to organically grow yourself every single day. It's going to take work, but that's what you have to do in order to beat anything in life, in order to overcome any obstacle in life. And I think that's what makes me such a rare breed in this field, is because I know what it's like to start from literally just trying to get out of bed every day and fight for my life, to being where I am physically now. And it required a lot of sacrifice. It required patience, hard work. You don't beat leukemia in 2 days. it took a long time. It took 2.5 years of treatment to do it. And it's crazy because like people just expect, to achieve overnight success. And that's not realistic at all. I think the success is how much work you put in. And then this is the year of the karma. So 2024, if you add that up, is 8. So that is year of karma. So you do 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4. That's called numerology. We're in the 8 year. And an 8 is a vertical infinity sign. So everything is coming back to you. So we are in the year of karma. What better way to start the year of karma than trying to clean yourself out spiritually and clean yourself out and bring in the beautiful abundance that you deserve in your life? That's what this group is for. And I really do think, adding you is an embodiment of that, because you're also a patient person that's going to put in the work. Like, you've put in the work to be successful, and you've done it pretty quickly. Like, you've done it, I wouldn't say overnight, but you took, months and months of time to give to other people to scale their social media accounts. And you have the sauce. And that's why I wanted to bring you in for that expertise. And I'm really excited to share that with more members, and being able to be seen by more people. And, you talked about investing in crypto and those things. I honestly would love to expand the group even to those knowledge aspects, because I'm not an investing expert. Do I know about investing? Yeah, absolutely. But I think being a generator in human design, collaboration is where I thrive the most. I thrive off of having other people's opinions. I thrive off of other people's knowledge. And giving knowledge as much as receiving knowledge is important to me. So growing the group even to an investment group as well, I think is in the cards. Same with crypto developing or NFT developing. We can do a crash course on NFTs because we've done it. We've created projects around that. We have the ability to teach more than just spirituality, more than just even creativity, because I know I've done some creative concept teaching in the group as well. But we have so much more now, adding you to the mix in our tool belt. And like, that's what I want this to be. The CCK, I want us to be a network of conscious entrepreneurs that we want to be artists, but we also want to be logically sound with our decision making. And it takes full alignment to do that. So we embody that. And I see that you embody that. And I'm really excited for you to also create content in the group, because I really do think you can create some high level content in the group.
100%. I have a couple of things to ping off of what you said, and for those that might not be tuned in or privy to it, CCK, Conscious Creators Kingdom. It is exactly what it sounds like. Conscious Creators. 6 months ago, so talking about the journey of building and becoming a social media influencer, if you will. I've been a full-time digital creative for almost 8 years, 7.5 years now, and it was only a little over 16 months ago that I started making money digitally and monetizing it. It took, so the overnight success aspect, it looks like that, and it always looks like that, because people aren't, it's just fundamental nature that as you're building and growing, when you have 300 followers, 400 followers, people aren't watching, and then you have 300, 400, 500K followers, and people are like, wow, you're an overnight success. It's like, no, bro, you didn't see me 5 years ago when I was doing what I'm doing now, but nobody cared, bro. And so, like, it does take a lot of work. And 6 months ago, Sean Campbell and PBD on a podcast, this really clicked in my mind when I heard this, and I was like, whoa. He was talking about it, and he goes, hey, man, PBD said to Sean Campbell, he said, all these young guys that are coming up that are, they're posting their gym workouts or whatever, or they're saying their motivational, inspirational stuff in the car. You need to stop looking at building this thing that is your personal brand, your digital identity, your digital footprint as, oh, I'm just trying to just be like this little character online. You need to start looking at yourself as a media company, because that's what you are, okay? In the United States of BlackRock, which we won't even go down that rabbit hole, but the centralized media is, I don't watch it, I can't watch it, because if I do watch it, if I go over to my grandparents' house and I see them watching, I'm like, this is not even valid to real life, this is brainwashing, essentially. So what's happening with the younger generations we are coming to these decentralized applications like X, and we are going ahead and taking knowledge and wisdom from people that are in the collective cumulatively, and we're just sort of obfuscating the middleman. We don't need them. Okay, so you are a media company, and that requires you to take yourself more seriously. Now, what I'm not saying is, oh, I need to go hire a PR team and everything that I post has to be fielded through this. No. You don't have to do that. Okay, you can post whatever it is that is your personality and be your true authentic self. But you need to understand that as you grow, and Andrew Tate dealt with this a little bit, right? As you grow, some of those pieces of content that you made that might have been a little more edgy when you had 200 followers and no one was watching, so it didn't matter. It does matter, because when you have 5 million followers, that's going to resurface, and that could cause you issues. So you do have to be consciously aware of how am I portraying myself, what am I putting out here. And I personally have found a lot of success in being able to provide massive value first. Gary Vee talks about the jab, 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 right hook. I waited 6.5 years to monetize anything because I was just jabbing with the knowledge first a long time. And then I gave it an ask and said, hey, I'm a starving artist out here and I'd love some help financially, you know? And so that's the last thing, right? And you talked about 75 Hard. For those that don't know what that is, Andy Frisella has 75 Hard, which is the first program of the Live Hard program, which is an annual fitness regime. It is it's a program, not a challenge. I hate the term challenge because it's not something you try. You either do it or you don't. And what it consists of, just a basic outline, is 2 45-minute workouts. One must be outdoors, 10 pages of reading a nonfiction book every day, taking a progress pic, setting a strict diet that it's based on your own goals. I did a macronutrient-based diet that was in a caloric deficit because I was cutting. Because actually, for those of you that aren't aware of my story, February of 2023, I had gotten a girlfriend, and we were making homemade food, chicken Alfredo with real cream. Like, oh man, this is delectable. And we were making it 3 times a week, but I got, my college abs went away. I didn't know where they went, and so I got myself a smart scale. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what's going on. Step on the smart scale, and I'm 247 pounds and 30.5%. BMI, which is clinically obese. And I was like, wow, I am actually fat. And so I made a fundamental change in my life. And what I did was I started 75 Hard. I completely shifted everything, my discipline to myself, what I said I was going to do and executing on those things, what I was fueling my body with. And I started doing crazy stuff. The people directly around me were like, dude, you're going way too hard. You're being crazy. You need to relax. And I was like, no, you don't get it, dude. You don't get it. And now I'm down almost 65 pounds. I have abs, and I fundamentally changed my life. And then why I'm sharing this, the neat part was, when I first started, my schedule got so cramped. I was canceling meetings left and right because I didn't have time to talk to people. It was so weird because I obfuscated business, and so the 4 pillars: health, wealth, love, and happiness. I obfuscated these pillars. I said, I don't really care about happiness. I care about long-term fulfillment, so I don't need to be happy right now. This sucks, and I'm cool with that. All right, the wealth, the financial pillar, I was like, yeah, I got time, I'm young. And then the love, I was like, look, what I'm doing right now, being crazy on fitness, is self-love. I'm giving to myself first before I gotta fill my own cup before I fill anybody else's cup. And it was so weird because I focused only on the physical side, and then all of a sudden everything else started coming into alignment. The financial, the relationship with myself, my relationship with God, my relationship with my friends and family, my sisters, everything got better. And then it was weird because I sort of put them on the back burner, but then as a transitive property, a transitive effect of everything else I was doing, it just came into alignment. So what I'm saying here effectively is the CCK, what it's going to be really good for, there's so many different people that are niche in, if you thought about it like RuneScape, and we all have these skill trees, right? I know how to do Amazon FBA, I understand personal development, I understand digital marketing, I understand fitness, I understand crypto and blockchain. Coop's got a bunch of them as well. If you think about this, right, the hero's journey is a choose-your-own adventure. And there's so much stuff to do, you are not capable of doing it all. Now, eventually, 30 years down the line, when you're a mogul and a serial entrepreneur, yes, you can do it all because you got systems, you got teams in place, everything's under your IP, you got 17 different LLCs that are all into a niche, different community, and everything's locked in and loaded. That's not how it starts, okay? You've got to be granular and really focused and bring one thing to critical mass, automate before you can bring another thing to critical mass. But it's a choose your own adventure. And early on in your process as an entrepreneur, you're going to have opportunity fatigue. And what this is all of a sudden, people around you are going to realize you are someone that is actually getting it together. You are a hitter. You're going to do this. And then all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, you're going to get 15 different opportunities to execute on. Can you do all of them? Yes. Can you do all of them at the same time? Absolutely not. If you try to cook with 15 pots on the stove, you're going to burn something. Okay, so the choose your own adventure, the power of CCK and a collective group of conscious individuals who are on the same path as you. Now, maybe it's not the exact same path. Maybe one of us is doing an FBA and one of us is doing social Shopify dropshipping. Maybe one of us is doing cold plunge content on our personal brand and one of us is juggling. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but along the line, we're walking the same path effectively. You having a group of people that meet on a regular basis and help each other grow. Mr. Beast talked about it. I love this parable. He said, when I started YouTube and nobody was listening, me and four of my buddies who were also all starting YouTube, we met every day. We had a Zoom call every single day, and we just learned from each other's mistakes. Because if I'm all by myself and I make a mistake on Friday and I implement and fix that, and then I keep running that playbook, a year later, I fixed 50 problems. Whereas if I have 5 other people all doing the exact same thing, and we're all bouncing off knowledge and mistakes off of each other, a year later, we're 5 years ahead of you. Like, this isn't even close. We're well beyond the knowledge that you've acquired because you're trying to do it by yourself when you could really get a group of conscious, aware individuals that are doing the same thing as you and all grow cumulatively faster together. So I think that's really important. So that was I touched on the physical, I touched on the health, the wealth. I think I touched on all the key points I was thinking about there. But
Right.
CCK, Conscious Creators Kingdom. Why did you? I want for the people to understand. Like, what was your basis for initially starting it? Like, where was your head at, and why did you think this is something that the collective needs, and I need to provide this value to them?
Oh man, you just blessed us with a lot of gems. So thank you for sharing all that. It means a lot. I really want to touch on authenticity with where I'm going to bridge this. You talked about authenticity, posting what you want to post, but also posting in an authentic manner. I see a lot of people that are very fake with how they post on social media, and it's disappointing to say the least, because you can grow by just being yourself. And I realized that after the past couple years of getting into different facets of not even just business, just in life, like posting about crypto, posting about NFTs, posting about going to EDM shows, posting about philosophical topics, posting about creativity, book writing, art. Just there's a lot of different things that I range on, but I'm a generator, so I generate through being able to have a wide range of interests, which is what makes Cooper unique and what makes Coop conscious. So what came of this group was I was in a collective group, and there were a lot of great things about the group. It taught a lot about investing, sovereignty, crypto, NFTs, credit repair, some forms of discharge and like those sorts of aspects. And I appreciated my time there, and I made some good friends that I'm still in touch with over time. But the thing is, there were just things that I wanted to focus on and I wanted to create. And it's around creativity, it's around spirituality, which the group that I was in had spirituality in it as well. But it's not to the level where I wanted it to be at. And I also just wanted to like lead it. And I wanted to be a leader. So that's what kind of inspired me to do it, because in my full embodiment, my full alignment, what I've visualized through my deep spiritual practice, through therapy, through psychedelic healing, through meditation, visualization, my full embodiment is the Yeshua embodiment. And for what people don't understand what that is the Christ-like embodiment, the Jesus embodiment. And that is fully authenticating light and love, truth, happiness, joy, very high frequency. And that is what I want to give to people. And I wanted to create the group to give that to people and to give conscious entrepreneurs an opportunity to grow themselves in an authentic manner, where it's sometimes in a world that might seem ingenuine, might seem inauthentic. That's where the CCK comes in, because you can fully be yourself and we can explore that. You don't have to. Now, there are great business outlets, like drop shipping. There are business outlets like copywriting, social media management, those sorts of things. But when you think about it, a lot of those are oversaturated markets at this point. And a lot of those are things that, yeah, they can make you money, but are you going to be happy doing it? And some people are happy doing it. And I know you do, the Amazon stuff, and that's great. And I know you're happy with it. You're successful with it. That is dope. I love that for you. That doesn't mean Coop has to do that, or Jane has to do that, or Brooke or Joe or anyone else, because they want to do something that's different. Maybe they want to be a fitness coach. Maybe they want to be a life coach. Maybe they want to be a type of like mental health, advocate. Maybe they want to do art. Maybe they want to make music, whether, it's a different, hip hop, EDM, whatever genre. Maybe they want to pursue NFTs. Maybe they want to make like a digital, maybe they want to make the next Yu-Gi-Oh, make the next Pokemon, make the next Monopoly board game, whatever. There's no idea that is stupid, because if you're in full alignment and you truly believe in yourself and you truly believe in this idea, that should be able to happen. And not even should, because I don't really like the word should. That will be able to happen, because delusional thinking is what gets you to where you want to get to. And I've noticed that through my book publishing over the past 5 years, and through my content over the past few years, the podcasts that I've created and grown into, and it's changed. It's never been the same. I went from poetry writing to meditation. I went from podcasts about like words and inspirational quotes to crypto to now a business, podcast that helps conscious entrepreneurs grow and market, but also teach knowledge in different subjects, kind of like what Joe Rogan does. Like, the full embodiment of what I have visualized for the past couple years is coming to fruition now. And I hope people are ready for that, because you're about to see a lot of crazy stuff come from here, but in the best way possible, because only truth can set you free. And that is all I am seeking. I am a truth seeker. I am a curious individual. So that being said, the CCK gives an opportunity for people to come in, learn the ropes, and try to grow a business that is profitable, hopefully in a decent amount of time, and you do what you actually want to do. Like we said, it's not an overnight success, but if we can get you the foundations to start taking off and hopefully churn some sort of momentum to make revenue, to make profit, that's going to give you the confidence to keep going. And then you'll figure out the other financial mechanisms that was your limiting belief in the first place. That's the problem with a lot of people, is they have limiting beliefs around money, and they don't want to start a business because of it. They're like, oh, it's too expensive, or oh, like, I don't have profit in like this amount of time or whatever. Well, you can business plan around those things so you can be successful. And that's what society wants you to believe. That's what the elites want you to believe. They want you to believe that you have to have a lot of money to be successful, or you have to have a specialized degree, or you have to have these sorts of like prerequisites to like even speak on the internet or monetize on the internet. Now, are there some bullshitters out there? Yeah, absolutely. There are con artists, there are scammers, they're everywhere. But the thing is, if you're fully aligned, you do your research, you do your studying, you do whatever it is you need to do to be fully aligned with your purpose, no one can question you. And you are in your full authenticity. That is where you get to unlock yourself in this collective group. And the collective group is like, you have to pay money per month. Yes, it's a retainer. Yes, there is financial pieces to it. But the thing is, we are not taking your arm or your leg in this whole endeavor. Like, we're not trying to cripple you financially. We're actually a very reasonably priced group compared to other collective groups that I've even looked at. So like, it's not just about the money. It's really about trying to help entrepreneurs succeed in life and be themselves, because it's not even like that's not even like a political thing. That's not even a progressive thing or a liberal thing to say that. I just truly believe being fully aligned with your purpose is why God put us all here. And that's what it's here to do. And this isn't even like when I talk about God, this group isn't like a religious group. As I talked about the Yeshua embodiment, it's just a spiritual group of finding yourself with who you are as a person. So that was the reasoning behind the CCK. Very long-winded, but that is my authentic response.
It was great because why I love that was because, so you talked about Yeshua and you talked about Christ consciousness, and I myself, I'm a faith-driven entrepreneur as well. So the message really, really calls and speaks to me. And so like, I think the hero's journey along, not to get like biblical and too spiritual, because, I don't want to turn anyone away and to each their own. But, I think regardless of your spiritual understanding or your religious beliefs, I think the Bible itself has so many parables that are synapses for life that can help you grow and evolve. But the idea of the hero's journey with Christ consciousness, it's like the hero's journey, the righteous man falls 7 times and gets up 8, right? Because you don't sell out, it is no secret, without going down any conspiracy theory rabbit holes. I mean, we live in a world that is clearly controlled by evil forces. I mean, this is not, you don't have to be super endowed into conspiracy theories to see that, okay?
Yeah.
But to each equal and opposite goods, equal and opposite forces, right? So clearly there is something bigger at play here on the global stage. And so people that are faith-driven entrepreneurs, they don't get that one-off ping that in their first year where they just go absolutely ballistic, parabolic, and win 2 Grammys on their first song. You know what I'm talking about. All right? So that doesn't happen for the faith-driven entrepreneurs. You have to be tried by fire, and it's biblical. And so with that, it's a beautiful thing, because the best thing you can do for yourself is get around like-minded individuals that have that same resolve, that think the same way, that can help you battle those quote-unquote demons, so to speak, whatever turbulence or tribulation you're dealing with. I guarantee you someone who's walking the same path you are has dealt with something very similar, if not the exact same situation, and they can give you their understanding, how they resolved it. And it might not be a one key fits all solution, but you might be able to ping off of that understanding and go, wait a second, all right, I'm grabbing a little piece from here that's going to help me unlock in whatever I'm dealing with. And so I think that's the beautiful power of being in a collective of individuals. And, here's the cool thing, right? We've all got different levels of understanding from our different business experiences. And what's awesome is I might have a piece that you need, right? If we're talking, I like analogies a lot, but if you've got a 100-piece puzzle and you've got 65 of them settled out, and someone else next to you is doing the same puzzle and they've only got 40 pieces, but 32 of their pieces are ones that you haven't got put together, you guys can come together and accumulate something absolutely fantastic that otherwise separately could have taken you quite a bit longer. And so I think that's the power of leveraging your warm network and other people that might be more versed in specific skill sets that you need. And the neat thing about conscious awareness and the scales, right? You might not even be aware of the things that you need because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so if you're in unconscious unawareness, you don't know that this person knows a particular thing that in a 15-minute phone call one-on-one with you, they can unlock you to something that you're not doing in your business, that if you did, you could 2, 3, 4x your results very quickly, right? And so that can happen when you're pinging together with people that are also on the same path. And I really, really like the idea of pairing it back to the spiritual, because business is spiritual, right? Like you can make vision boards all you want. You can affirm and stand in the mirror and smile and high five yourself all you want. That's great, dude. But here's the problem. If you do that all day long, but your subconscious mind is not programmed in such a way that you believe that you feel inside yourself that I am deserving of the success that I'm endowed on, then it's not going to come to pass. You're going to reach every critical option. You're going to reach every tribulation. You're going to just hit wall after wall after wall. And it's because you
Yep.
did not fix your programming, your subconscious mind. If you think about your brain as a computer, the operating system is your conscious awareness. Or sorry, the programs and the apps are your conscious awareness, whereas the operating system, the back end running the computer, that's your subconscious mind. You can have all the great apps you want, but if your subconscious mind is not dialed in, you are not going to see those results you're looking for. It's very paradoxical, but it actually makes so much sense when you really think about it. And that's where the meditation aspect of getting your mind right and unlocking those chakras and it's interesting because each of the chakras is blocked by one of the 7 deadly sins, and each of the chakras are unlocked by one of the lively virtues. I mean, it's the parables in the Bible are very interesting, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
so that's a big thing. And I mean, the sort of what's worked for me and got me to this point in my process, I can preach all I want to you and tell you this is what worked for me and this is what I did. And maybe that path will, but you'll, here's the cool thing about a collective, right? My path's just one path. Nobody else has lived a life exactly like me. Nobody else has lived a life exactly like Coop, ever. Ever. It's never been done. But what's interesting is if we each spell out our process and where we've learned these lessons, each person can take one key from here, one key from here, and it will help them unlock at any level. And Coop and I have both created a rather substantial amount of business success in the last half decade, right? I had a VC funded company that valued at $15.5 million when I exited, okay? I ran companies, I scaled them up to 30,000 gross a month net, less than 5 figures. Okay, we're paying in between 6 and 8 grand, but I mean, good enough to salary out 3 to 4 people, right? So we were running a successful startup. Those things are down the line, right? Early on, here's the neat thing about helping people that are becoming entrepreneurs. Like I said about the choose your own adventure, there's so much stuff, and it's good to dip your toe in the water and try your hand at a thing, but some people aren't going to enjoy doing Amazon FBA. Some people might not enjoy doing UX UI web dev stuff. Some people might not enjoy doing the actual doing of creating digital content and being a person in a camera, in front of a camera. Some people aren't going to like that. But all of these things cumulatively make up an entire business in today's digital ecosystem. And so what happens if you're really, really good in front of the camera, but you're not technical. You don't have any technical skills, but you join a collective and all of a sudden you get your missing key. You get a person that you can partnership with, and then all of a sudden you guys are collectively running together, right? It opens up so many doors and possibilities. And the beautiful thing is, if you are a text or a phone call away from someone that is now we're all humans and we're all equally yoked, right? Nobody's better than each other. But if you're a 1-year entrepreneur and you've made $2,000 net in your lifetime in business versus someone that's a 8-year entrepreneur and made over 7 figures, okay, that person, while they're as a human being, you guys are equal. In business, that person has a lot more understanding that's going to help you level up and unlock. And so if you're a text or a phone call or a Zoom call away from that person, think about what that can do for your life. Okay, you get caught up on this, that, or the other thing, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got the keys. You can ask someone that already knows the answer. It's fundamentally game-changing. So we're talking about all the aspects of running a successful business. It's not just one thing. And one person, I'm not even saying I don't have all the keys. Coop doesn't have all the keys. This is a cumulative thing. When we go back to community, right? You have followers, you have community. Followers, everybody's listening to this one person talk. Community, I mean, I say something and this person chimes up from the back and goes, hey, wait a second, that makes me think this. And that's collective consciousness, right? That's source coming through people. And that person, even though they're less established in business, they might say something that is absolutely vital to move that conversation in a way that's going to help everybody cumulatively grow. It's interesting how that works.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Great thoughts. I want to piggyback off of kind of what you're saying with, collaboration, and I think with the collective groups, you have the ability to promote yourself, which the previous collective group wasn't open to that, where this group is going to be more open to plugging yourself, plugging your business with, everyone in this, collective group. And then also even teaming up and creating a business venture of your own, like with someone else in the group. Like if you met someone in the CCK and you want to go in on something like a 50-50 partnership, or whatever the case may be, you like do it. That's what the group is for. We're here to promote conscious brands, conscious people, conscious entrepreneurship. And if you suppress the ability to, I guess, market yourself or suppress the ability to partner up with other people, then it's hard to call yourself a conscious collective group because you're not able to really express, with other people. Like it just is a little hypocritical. So I really like that we have that ability to be open minded because yeah, I'm not an expert. I've had some business success for sure. I've had people got to stop playing with me. Like I have had success doing fundraising for charities. I've raised, give or take over $300,000 for charity, like for cancer charity. I've had 2 best-selling books, and I've had NFT projects that sell, working on a startup of my own right now, having, viral videos on social media. I know how shit works. Like not to the fullest extent, I would say, compared to you, like with marketing and those sorts of things. But I do know how stuff works. I call myself an energy wizard at times because I attract energy on a very atomic level. Like it flows to me. It's almost when I tap into myself spiritually, I can attract a lot of different things as long as I heal my subconscious. And like you talked about also subconscious healing and reprogramming. That's another part of the CCK that we're going to utilize. A lot of your limiting beliefs are deep within your brain, and it's not something that you can just heal through active, affirmations like saying them in the mirror. Like it actually doesn't work that way. You have to go deep into the brain, below the levels, below the brain waves that you're sleeping in. Go deep under that and uncover what's there and then heal those, because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't heal your traumas. And that's part of what I aim to do and what I aim to help people with. And we're going to have one-offs in our group as well, where you can work with me one-on-one, you can work with Jakeb one-on-one, and we'll iron out those details eventually soon. But if you want to be great, if you want to be fully authenticated, you have to heal your traumas. This is 2024. You can't just skate by and act like, you're a perfect soul, because we're not. Like none of us are perfect. We all have different traumas. We all have different wounds. We all have past lives that we've lived in different realms, in different worlds, in different universes. That's a high level thought that some people might not understand, and that's okay. But when you live as many past lives as I have lived, things just flow to you differently, whether it's ideas, whether it's words, whether it's concepts. So being able to enlighten the masses on a deeper level and a bigger level is what I'm aspiring to do slowly but surely. And you're right, man. There's a deep group that runs the world, and we're seeing it unfold. The past few days already, and who's at the top. So they have a lot of control over a lot of different outlets in media, especially. That's why older generations are like, oh, social media is the devil, or social media is so bad for society. But then they watch Fox News, CNN, all those mainstream outlets that are all fabricated and just meant to divide you. And then you have vice versa. Like there are pros and cons of social media as well. But the thing is, we have an opportunity to decentralize social media, and we have an opportunity to decentralize art and all forms of media, whether it's movies, TV shows, we can food, clothing. Like, I can go on and on. Books, like, we can really swap out all these corrupted forms and outlets of consumption, because when you consume books, media, movies, everything, you consume it with your eyes. Like, your eyes is the mouth, your brain is the stomach. So you consume all forms of media as well. And when you consume those things, that gives you programs and it puts you in different frequencies. Imagine a world where we have media at the love frequency. Like, what you watch, what you listen to gives off the frequency of love. And now you're programmed in a loving state and you're giving off a higher vibe. And then the environment around you is a higher vibe. So you have an opportunity to really create a network of people that are going to raise the vibration of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it deeply, it's not even that deep. The inputs that you're feeding in your mind, which isn't. I spoke earlier about like the fitness aspect and like food as fuel, but it's not just that. It's the media that you're consuming. It's the podcast you're listening to. It's the people that you value and listen to what they're saying. That is the input, and then the output is the thought forms that you're creating, right? So the average person has 75,000 thoughts a day, and more than 65% of those are the same as the previous day. Okay, so what you're feeding your mind is a continual, you're either in a parabolic downtrend or a parabolic growth trend, right? And so what you have to do is be really consciously aware of what you're feeding yourself. And when I say feeding, I'm talking about media. I'm talking about actually the food as well. I'm talking about who are you listening to, who are you valuing, who you're jumping on calls with, and pinging ideas off of each other. Okay, because not everybody, despite you'd love it to be, and you'd love everybody to be in Christ consciousness, not everybody has the best means for you. Okay, some people want to see you do good, but they do not want to see you do better than them. Okay, so what are their intentions? What are the people that I'm listening to, and what thoughts and frequencies coming off of these that's going to allow me to then circle back and build, so that I can then circle back again and help other people who may be a little bit below me on the business ladder, or on the spiritual ladder, on the fitness financial level, whatever it is, reach back down and help other people pull them back up. I think that's the beautiful thing about ascending from the 3D to the 5D and embodying that Christ consciousness. I think what's really interesting is each person has their own journey. They have their own struggles, their own tribulations, and what one person struggles with might not be what another person struggles with. And so you guys can, in a cumulative group, in a safe environment where, maybe you want to do it in a group setting, maybe you want to do it just one-on-one, but you can ping off of each other and you can grab their strengths, borrow their strength in a certain skill set or tool set, and then you can help them, and cumulatively we can grow. And I think that's really important. I think that's one of the most powerful things of the mastermind effect, because when you're just running by yourself, yes, it's great, and you can do amazing things. The reason it took me 6 years to monetize my platform, which is now over 500,000, was because I was running by myself, dude. I was like, I don't need anybody. I got this. And it was just this stupid, dude. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So don't do that.
No, yeah, I was doing that too, and that's why I reached out to you, and like, to come full circle, like, working with you over the past year, I got to a point, after just like a healing journey that I've been on in 2023, now into 2024. I realized, I want to give up equity in the group to someone that I know can be just a balanced partner for me, and it's going to make my life a lot easier to also go be great in a couple of aspects within the group. But then someone else comes in, brings their knowledge, brings their platform, brings their enlightenment into the group, and that's why you were a no-brainer. And it's one of those things where you have to let go of your ego. That was the biggest problem for me. My ego is so stubborn that I think I have to, not control everything necessarily, but I feel like I have to do everything in order to achieve success, or in order to get to where I want to get to. Like, I have to do it on my own, which is, it's very stupid. Like, and especially my human design being a generator, like, I have to, rely on other people. Like other people are going to get me to where I want to get to in life. And you're one of those people, and I consider you a lifelong friend because of how you operate and how you think and how just deep into the weeds you get on life. And I feel like you and I are mere reflections of each other in the best way possible. And I think it's an honor just to be able to like share success with you and grow a whole network together. Like just grow so many people and heal so many lives.
I think one of the big lessons I took away from 2023, one was letting go into the now and realizing, because for a long time, I've had big pullbacks in my life. In 2020, I filed bankruptcy amidst running a startup, and the startup grew and blew up and was going massive. I was networking and I was advising some A-list celebrities, and all of a sudden, boom, kaput, ground floor again, right? It's like, what the heck, dude? How many times is this going to happen? Well, the biggest thing that I learned in 2023 was, one, let go and accept that you are where you are and this is where you're supposed to be, and that's for everybody, no matter where you're at in your process. It's a process for a reason. You can't have a testimony without some tests. And number two, the best way to calm your monkey mind, also known as the ego, okay, and to kill it, the best way to do it is do hard stuff intentionally. Willful, intentional suffering is the key. It is the unlock to mastering yourself and mastering your mind, and in turn mastering the 4 pillars: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Okay. For the last 6 months, I've done ice baths every single day. This morning, I got up at 4 in the morning when it was 31 degrees outside, and I sat in 37-degree water for 5 minutes. Is that easy? Absolutely not. It is your central nervous system literally thinks it's dying. Okay, so you're freaking out and you're like, I gotta get out of here, man. But no, you just calm it down, breathe, relax through it, and your mind, all these crazy, emphatic thoughts about all sorts of negativity, they dissipate, and all of a sudden, your mind is quiet. You've taken control of your mind because your higher self, the pilot behind this meat suit, said, hey, you're freaking out, central nervous system, but guess what? I'm in control, and I'm saying we're going to sit in this cold water. Do I want to do this? Not really, but I'm going to do it because it's great for me. Not just, there's mental benefits, which I prefer the mental benefits, but we don't even need to talk about the physiological benefits, okay? There's better circulation, okay? It's crazy what it does. It activates brown fat, and you start burning, just melting, liquidating fat off your body. The benefits are massive, and that's just one of the things. During 75 Hard, the workouts are of your own accord, right? You get to pick what you do, right?
Yeah.
And so I went to the gym every single day for 150 days straight, no days off. And then what I did for my outside workout, I strapped on a 45-pound ruck, and I walked, jogged, and sometimes sprinted, but it's kind of hard to sprint with that much weight on your shoulders, especially because I have a previously broken clavicle. But I would do 6 miles a day. Okay, I got up to over 100 miles a month wearing a ruck. Well, I remember this one thing was hilarious. This guy at the pool. I'm in a condo community. We have this little complex. We had this pool, and I'm listening to 75. I'm listening to Andy Frisell on my headphones, and I see him in my peripherals waving me down. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I move my headphone, and he goes, "Hey man, what are you training for?" And I was like, what? I was being a smartass, and I was like, I'm training for life, man. And he was like, how many laps are you going to do? And I was like, as many as it takes. And I just kept walking. And I think David Goggins says it. I think when you get to the spot where people just in your immediate circle think you're crazy, okay, you're doing stuff that you're so off base, they're like, you are doing crazy stuff. You need to relax. You need to calm down. You're going too hard. You're in the spot where you're on the right path to accomplishing and achieving the things that you want, because it takes that absolute insane juxtaposition to like go, all right, I have delusional belief that I am going to be this. I see this in my mind's eye, and it sounds absolutely ballistic. And from my current deck of my hand right now, it doesn't even look possible. But I don't care. There is no plan B, because plan A is what's happening, okay? And I'm going to go through the trudge. I'm going to go through the mud. No matter what it takes, it's going to come to fruition, and I'm just going to keep working at it, just hammering, chiseling away at that marble statue every single day, okay? And I think that it's a beautiful thing when you don't give yourself an out. You don't have a plan B, because plan A is going to work, okay? And when you make that resolve, you're going to get kicked in the butt by life a lot. But you're not losing, okay? You're never losing. You're only learning, because you can't lose. You can't lose, because how would it be considered a loss if you don't stop? Okay, you're not stopping. You just go, wow, that thing that I tried, that did not work. Okay, great. Now let's try something else. I love it, dude. It's the hero's journey is great, dude. And the cool part is, you can, when you get together with other people that are in your group that are also entrepreneurs, you guys get to share these stories about the good, bad, and the ugly. And a lot of them are very similar to what other people have dealt with, just in different forms and capacities. And so you guys can and here's the neat thing, right? And this is another thing that's really, really big. When I was running this startup, and I was privately invited to the Gala Music launch, there's only 300 people there. I met Snoop Dogg, Steve Aoki, Justin Blau, BT, a bunch of huge celebrities in the EDM sector, okay? They all loved me, okay? I got some of their personal phone numbers, and let me explain why, okay? This is why. I'm a 7-year entrepreneur. Someone that's a 2-year entrepreneur, or someone that's not even an entrepreneur yet, follows me on social media, they look up to me as some sort of like deity or something. They're like, this guy knows it all. I don't know it all, just so that you know. But this is a problem, right? People give this sort of stardom that they get like starstruck, and they have this superstar syndrome, right? If you if you get an opportunity to meet an A-list celebrity and you treat them like an A-list celebrity, guess what? They are going to feel that energy, that vibrational frequency, and they're going to mirror that by treating you like a fan, okay? Because that's the dynamic that you've created here, right? Every single one of these guys that I went up to and met, instead of being like, hey man, like, you're a legend, I love you, I've listened to your music for so long, dude, I gotta get a picture with you. No. I look at them as just an intentional character that's building something over the long term. They're just further along their path than I am. That's why they're more critically acclaimed. So I asked them questions about how did they deal with this and this and this early on in their journey. And the look on their face when they immediately realize, this guy that's talking to me right now, this guy's not like these other guys that are waiting in line to talk, to get a picture with me. This guy is asking an intentional question because he wants to use this time, this short little time that he's got to talk to me right now, as a pinnacle for growth. He's trying to pick my brain and learn and grow and evolve and become a better entrepreneur. And that is the differentiator, okay? Don't treat people, when you meet someone that you look up to, it's great to go, wow, you're like, give them that edification, that's great. But don't like over edify and get into that stardom, right? They're just a person. They are just a person that's further along in their journey. And you can be on your own journey, and you should be on your own journey. And it says it in the Bible, man without a vision shall perish. It doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to do. Also, I forgot to ping on this earlier, but you talked about how people think they need to be this, that, or the other thing to talk on social media. Earl Nightingale says the definition of success. How would you define success? Without pulling out a dictionary, what is success to you? The definition.
Success to me is being able to fully express who you are without worrying about some limiting belief, whether it's financial or, some mental block, or worrying about being alone, not having friends, those sorts of things. That's to me what I believe success is.
I love that, because that's transitive and that overarches, that can be blanketed into any circumstance. This is the best definition of success I've ever heard, and I've ran with it and I love it. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. I'm going to say it again so that people grasp it. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, which means the only 3 things that you need to be successful, even if you don't have any business, you don't have a job, you live in your parents' basement, and you're smoking a bunch of weed, which was me in 2017, okay? Look, but I was super successful, and I'll tell you why. Because I knew where I was consciously aware, I'm a loser, okay? I live in a basement, I'm a full-grown adult, living off my parents, all I do is smoke weed, and I don't have a job. But I have this dream, I have this idea, and I'm gonna do this idea, I'm gonna make this happen. Okay, so the only 3 things you need to be successful: know where you're at, know where you're going, and progressively go in that direction. So it doesn't even matter if you're taking a step an hour, a step a minute, a step a month. Okay, if you're going in the right direction, you have a clear understanding of where you're at, and you have a clear understanding of where you're trying to go, you're successful. Whether you want to be a billionaire or you want to be a potato farmer, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's what success is, and I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to sit down with another character and get an understanding of what their passions are, what their hobbies are, what they're good at, and then go, all right, well, what is it that you want to do? And they tell you that idea, and you go, well, I think that's certainly possible. Let's spell out a game plan and let's help you move in that direction. And then you meet with them a year later. I had a buddy who was he was an accountant, okay? He was a CPA, and he was working in a firm. He hated it. He was not happy, okay? And he was passionate about the same thing I am, which is flow arts. And I was like, hey, man, why don't you just build a personal brand and like just make money from your flow arts passion? Like, why don't you do that? And he's like, I just hadn't really thought about it. And I was like, all right, well, here's what you have to do. I spelled it all out for him. And then 2 years later, he has 500,000 followers on TikTok, and he makes a full-time living just off of doing a TikTok live every day. How's that possible? Well, it's because he became successful. He identified where he was at. He identified where he was trying to head to, and then he progressively moved in that direction. And the art of progressively realizing a worthy ideal is dealing with the mud and the bull crap that comes in the beginning, because you're going to be stepping and you're not going to feel like you're going anywhere. And then your closest friends and family, it's so paradoxical, but in the entrepreneurial, the hero's journey, the first people to hate on you are your closest friends and family, because you trying to change who you are and who you're being is affecting their bubble of comfort of what they've created. That it's changing the self-image that they have of you in their own mind, and they don't like that. So them hating or saying, hey, be safe, get a real job, whatever that is, whatever that looks or sounds like to you, you might take that as they don't believe in me. What they're actually trying to say, and they're just doing a bad job of saying it, is I want you to be safe because I had dreams, charisma, and ideas like that when I was young, and it didn't work out for me. Right. So if it didn't work out for me, why is it going to work out for you? I don't want you to get hurt in losing yourself to the process, and then 20 years later find out, oh, I didn't do it and I'm miserable. But no, that's not what's going to happen, because you're going to stay committed and you're going to stay disciplined, and you don't lose. You never fail. You just learn. And that's what, to circle it back, I mean, you need a collective community of people that are all entrepreneurial, that are all on the same sort of path, not necessarily exactly the same direction, to help guide you when you have those days, which I still have those days. I mean, 2 days ago, I had a terrible day. It was a very, very turbulent day. Everything went bad. But at the end of the day, I meditated, I prayed, I journaled, I got those thoughts and those emotions and that energy out. And then bada bing, bada boom, the next day, I'm grateful. It's a beautiful day to be alive. And I had absolutely breakthroughs, great stuff happening all day. How could it flip flop so much? Well, it's because I'm on the path, bro. You can lose a day, you can have a red day and still have a green week, a green month, a green life. Okay? That's what I have to say about it.
Yeah. Wow. That was a lot of high level thoughts. Thanks for sharing. I agree. Everything you said, and it's never a bad, or you may have a bad day, but you don't have a bad life. Any of those like kind of cliche sayings. But the thing for me is a collective group nowadays is so crucial, because the internet is it is a great place to meet new people, like outside of your circle. And I think St. Louis, Missouri has an issue with that in terms of meeting people outside of your circle. It's like very driven about like where you went to high school, maybe where you went to college, and then like where you work, currently, if you work for like a St. Louis company, which there's nothing bad about it. But, to me, I need people that are on that conscious level. And you sometimes don't get that in your local community. I'm not saying that there's no conscious people locally here in St. Louis. I've met a couple, but being able to find a collective group to meet like-minded individuals, it makes my circle go from like 4 people to like 10 people that I can really rely on. And they're always a phone call away. And that's the beautiful part, is like we have FaceTime, we have phone calls, we have Zoom. We have such a way to interact instantaneously, even 1,000 miles away. And that is the beauty of collective groups. And like having a collective group and scaling it giving me more time and energy towards it. I would love to be wherever I want to be and just do, webinars and recordings, and then, have the ability to like be like in northern Italy for like a month and like be able to like record some stuff for, the group, and like do live calls for the group, because like in the end, like being able to have that progression is going to make me a better creative, and it's going to make me a better just teacher and motivator for other people, just having more of that time and more of that creative energy dedicated to the group. And that's why I wanted to hire you on, and having the ability now to like even do masterminds or one-off coaching, where you have your one-off coaching, I can have my one-off coaching. We have, things that we can multitask where it's not going to be multitasking because we're both going to be on it. And like, a mastermind weekend somewhere where we can have, 10 to 20 people, or, 10 people show up, and we do, a crash course, and we do, brotherhood, sisterhood, family type of, gathering, and deep, meditation, deep thought work, deep wound healing, deep trauma healing, together in person. Like you just have so much ability now to virtually meet people and then like progress into in-person meeting at the same time. And that's what collective groups, I think, are supposed to be, to have that community, and to have that camaraderie together. And that's why I said like creating businesses with the people that you meet in the collective group. That is the whole purpose. So you guys can have similar interests, but maybe you have different strengths and weaknesses where you balance each other out. And if you're a good person, obviously the equity and the money part, you're willing to give that up for a healthy partnership. Just like in dating relationships, business relationships are similar. Like you give up some equity, which is your ego. You give up some of your, thought processes, your old beliefs or whatever, and you compromise with that person, to make a very foundational, relationship, to grow a business, to grow each other. Like that's what it's meant to be. And I think sometimes people are afraid to take that leap because meeting new people can sometimes be a little nerve-wracking. But this group can allow vulnerable conversations to take place. So I'm really excited for the future of the CCK with you, and how it could even grow into other names, other networks, other business ventures together. I definitely think we have just an open road ahead of us.
Yeah, I love that. One thing I want to leave the audience with, because it's a big deal, really big deal. Okay, so with parallel, we'll jump in a little bit to parallel reality theory. But so your dream, your higher self in actualization already exists now today. Okay, maybe not if you look in the mirror, maybe not you right now at this exact moment, which is probably
Right.
true. But here's the thing, right? Your dream life and dream reality is only a series of habits and a series of systems away. That's all. That's all it is. Habits and systems. That's all being a massively successful entrepreneur is. Now, those things haven't been brought to you, one, because you don't have the people in your immediate warm network that have the understanding of conscious awareness of the things that you need. And two,
Right.
because right now what's happening is the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is waiting for you to prove that you're serious about what it is that you say that you want, by executing and starting to down the path of having those habits that are of like energy of the type of person you're trying to be, right? And so for me, what that looked like in 23 was going absolutely ballistic on health. And I was like, all right, I'm going to shred and build my dream body. And in that, I will have tangible parallel success in the other pillars of life. And guess what? 11 and a half months later, that was fundamentally true. How did I know that when I started? Well, I knew that because there was a little voice in the back of my mind, which you could call your higher self, you could call it source consciousness, you could call it the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I had this little inclination in my mind. Hey, by the way, if I set back these other pillars and I put them on the back burner while I focus on this, everything else is going to come into alignment. And guess what? I was following the right path. I was following a path that actually led to more abundance because I was clear in my intention. I was forthright with my intentions. I
Mhm.
didn't have any intention to cause malice or ill will towards anyone else to get above or ahead in life, right? It's
Right.
sort of the transitive property of cumulatively, collectively, we can all grow. And in that, which is sort of the embodiment of Christ consciousness, in that, you will attract those like minded, right minded people that are going to give you those habits and those systems. But in having and being given the habits and systems, it still falls back on you to do it, right? We're not giving you some kind of magic pill like that one movie, Limitless. It's not some magic
Yeah.
pill that all of a sudden, boom, everything just comes into alignment and you're living your dream life. You still have to do it, right?
Yeah.
But we can, it's the you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So we can give you all the sauce. You're still, the ball is still in your court to make it happen, and that's what I hope the CCK can provide to people. I know that it will, and we can give you that roadmap and help you lay it out so that you can build whatever it is that you want to build. And it's so versatile. Like I said, choose your own adventure. You get to go down whatever path you want, and we have subject matter experts in so many different fields. Whatever it is you could, whatever crazy idea you can come up with, I'm sure we can find the people that can help you bring that into tangible reality.
Yeah. Absolutely. No. Beautifully stated. I mean, I got a meditation tomorrow for the group. I think it's at like 4 p.m. Central Time, and I would really love for anyone that would love to join, love for you to join and get a taste of what the spiritual empowerment looks like, because it's going to be a heart chakra meditation, which to me has been probably one of the more beautiful, intricate meditations I've gone into on my own, that have healed a lot of wounds and a lot of pain that I've had. Because what people don't know about me is like my progression through cancer, through other traumas, through relationship traumas, in dating, have they built up a lot of anger within myself, and built up a lot of struggles within myself, and put me in a victim mindset for a really long time. And healing my heart, healing those wounds, really created this love for life, love for business, love for people. So I have the ability to just be happy now and not be attached to anything. And then the abundance has come in because my fifth dimension awareness is so high. And now it's finally reflecting in the 3D. But it took like years of work to get to where I'm at now. So it's not an overnight thing, and it's not a magic pill. But what I hope to do is, through what I've learned on my own to implement for other people, I can cut that time in half, or cut that down by a significant percentage, because that's what we want to do. You know, if getting to a millionaire, by the age of 30, I'm 27, getting to be a millionaire at 30, if I can teach someone how to do it in, if I did it in, give or take, since I got out of college, 8 years, if I could do that for someone in half the time, if I could help them get there in 4 years, oh my God, that's a huge win. That's a huge, like, just notch, not in my belt, but just like a notch to help the world and help humanity. And I told myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to heal 1 million people. Like, it's going to happen. I've already healed thousands of people, maybe even 10,000 people through my speaking engagements, my fundraising, all those things. But I'm going to heal 1 million people. Like, it's going to happen. And this is the first step to actually doing that.
I love that. I love that. I mean, should we? I want to share a Bible verse that I think
Go for it.
is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It's
Yeah.
lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him. And yada, yada, yada. I don't have to fully memorize, man. I have to pull out the Bible, which is lean not on your understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. That's what it is, okay? And so what that means is, when we're talking about the hero's journey, being an entrepreneur, and having all these bold, crazy, crazy visions, right? We're going to do all this crazy thing on a global scale, and it's so much broader and bolder than anything we've ever physically done yet to this date, right?
Right.
It's like, how is that going to happen? I don't know, man, but I don't need to know because I'm giving it to God. I'm just executing on a daily basis at the highest level of my capacity that I know, okay? And it's like you said earlier, you said, when I started entrepreneurship, my process looked like this, and then it evolved sort of into this other thing that was not what I saw in the beginning, right? And it's like, it's so true because it's like, what happens is when you start as an entrepreneur, you have these DMOs, these daily methods of operations, which is these are your critical tasks that you're executing on a daily basis to move forward in the things that you currently have conscious awareness of. These are the things I have to do that are going to move me forward. That evolves and grows as you build and grow into a different entrepreneur that's doing other things in a higher capacity. And so, do I know what's going to make me a world recognized mogul with 100 million followers and a net worth of $10 million? No, I don't know what that looks like yet. But what I do know is that as I continue growing every single day and doing the things that I currently know that I have to do on a daily basis that are going to move me forward, then I will get those keys and understanding when I need it, when I get there. And that falls back to the whole let go of where you think you need to be, because where you're at now is great. And just keep doing the things that you currently have a conscious awareness of. This is what I know I need to be doing right now. And all of a sudden, everything's going to fall into place.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I don't think I could say that better myself, to be honest with you, which is great. That's why we have this dynamic. We don't have to one up each other. We can just really feed off each other and just kind of retain knowledge and give knowledge at the same time. So I think it's awesome that you stated that, because I firmly believe my purpose has always been to heal a lot of people. I do believe myself as a healer. At first, I didn't think of it. I thought healing was always physical, or it's always like mental, like it's always, around your body or, your brain with like, mental illness or whatever. But that's not the case. Healing can come in so many different forms. And spiritual healing is what I think I really have delved into and found a name for myself in the space in a way that is beautiful. And when I got my certification in energy psychology and learning about the 13 meridians and being able to learn about the chakra systems and being able to learn about your aura, like your energetic aura from an atomic level and like an ion level, like that's what I'm here to do, to help heal people. Like I'm healing people on an atomic level and an ionic level. Like I'm healing people in a cellular way, but through the mental and spiritual aspect. So yeah, I'm really excited for this partnership. Really excited for just growing the group, doing the meditation tomorrow. Really excited for that turnout. And yeah, that's really thank those that tuned in today. I really appreciate, if you have any questions, feel free to send a DM to Jake or myself. Would be happy to help answer any questions for you that you might have around the group, around what we do, around who we are as people, around, our endeavors as well. And yeah, that's all I really got. Do you have anything else, Jacob?
I think closing statements that I'd have to say, I think when I like bringing it all the way back to early entrepreneurs, because a lot of people, they have these grandiose ideas, but they actually aren't doing anything yet. So they really are a level one entrepreneur, so to speak.
Yeah.
And thinking back to me back in 2017, I think that you get a lot of information overwhelm in the beginning, because it's like, wow, there is so much to do. And like, do I do this or this or this or this?
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to like, you don't have to be perfect. You really don't have to be. I'm not. I still honestly, I haven't hit over 80% on my DMOs in like 2.5 years. Okay, so I have a checklist about a mile long of things that I have to do every day, and every day stuff's falling through the cracks. Okay, I'm not perfect, but the beautiful thing is it's a process. It's in the doing, and so I think if you are an early on entrepreneur and you are trying to get your wits about you and figure out where it is or what it is that you're trying to do, I think that you need to be less hard on yourself and realize, okay, the fact that I even am intentioned enough to think, okay, the current reality I have working this job and I'm in debt and I'm living paycheck to paycheck or whatever it may be, I'm not really satisfied with this, and I think there is something more, and I want to delve down this rabbit hole and see what's here. I think that right there is a progressive step in the right direction because it doesn't happen overnight. It looks like for people like me and Coop, it looks like it happened overnight, but I'm telling you, it didn't. Okay, it doesn't for anybody ever under any circumstances. It's like a carrot, right? You got gigantic roots coming out, right? Some people have huge roots and their life just looks absolutely miraculous, and then there's just this little baby carrot. They ain't got no substance. There's nothing there. Or you got these tiny little baby roots that are showing, like this guy's life is nothing. He's not built anything, but he's got a fat carrot underground, and he's not really interested in flexing some sort of lifestyle to make it appear as if he's more successful than he is, because it's all in the doing. He doesn't care about that. The flash, the glitz, the glamour doesn't matter, dude.
Right.
So the lesson of what I'm saying here is, if you're an early on entrepreneur, take it day by day. If you get overwhelmed, fall back on those habits, meditate, align, journal. Journaling is a really good way to get out those ideas that are swirling around in your brain, because once you can put pen to paper and you can physically write it out and then read it out loud, you can go, wow, this is what I'm thinking about right now. And then you can wager back and forth with your own mind of like, okay, this is what I thought, and then you give yourself the answer. It's weird, but I think focus on the habits in the beginning, and then as you raise your frequency and you focus on those positive habits, I think what's going to happen is you're going to find people that are going to align with what it is, where it is that you're trying to go. And I think that's really, really powerful. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You can do it. You will do it, but it's gonna take you a lot longer. Like Coop said, cut the learning curve. The goal is to cut the learning curve for other people. And if you can help someone achieve something that you did in half the time, that is brilliant. That is fantastic.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Follow Jakeb if you don't follow him. Would appreciate the follow as well. Link is in my bio for the CCK memberships. We got them rolling out. We got open enrollment right now. So go ahead, sign up before it's too late. For tomorrow's meditation, would really love to see some new faces and just help people start on their spiritual and entrepreneurial journeys. So that's all I got. Jakeb, how about you?
That's it. I think it's been brilliant. If you follow me and you don't follow Coop, I think you got to follow him because he provides a lot of value. And then also, it's right here. Coop's an author, Grand Rising Universe. Get yourself a copy. It's a great book. It's definitely worth the read.
Also in my bio.
Yeah, also in his bio.
Also in the bio. I got all the links in my bio for the show, for the book. For the collective group, and I'd love to help someone. There's a lot of people that want to write books, so if you're one of those people that wants to be an author, join our group. We'll get you started, and we'll get you up and running too. So Jakeb, thank you for this partnership. Thank you for coming on today. Thanks for being a good friend, and I'm excited to just get to work with you, and I'm excited to heal some lives.
Thank you, Cooper. It's been a pleasure, and it's going to be an honor what we're going to do. I'm really excited to help all these people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. One finger, one pinky, one thumb, one love, as Cam Newton says.
Peace out.
Peace.